So, you've imagined your dream home and you're probably waiting for an architect to do a sketch of it. But before you even get to that part, you need someone on your team who understands the land laws, the zoning regulations, and of course, where your land will fit within the community. This person is known as a planner, and they won't just be looking at the picture of your dream home, they'll be looking at the big picture of where your home actually sits and fits sustainably as well as safely in the community. And joining us on today's episode is none other than Mr. Rusiku Surue, who is the president of the Zambia Institute of Planners. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for hosting us.
Well, as we said, we need the likes of you on our team. All right, so let's get straight into it. What does ZIP do? I mean, what is the mandate behind ZIP as an institution?
The Zambia Institute of Planners is a professional body that, of course, is made up of planners from across the country. We register socioeconomic planners, spatial planners, and environmental planners. These basically are people that are very, very important in the built environment space. So the planning profession in general first fits in the built environment where you have the architects, you have the engineers, you have the surveyors, you've got the real estate agents, the quantity surveyors. So it's a whole package of people that basically come together to basically create what we have as a built environment. And as you rightly put in the introduction, I was very excited when I heard the big picture. We are the guys that look at development from the last floor, the topmost floor of the Findeco house to see what's happening around, what is on collision course, what is coming from what direction, so that these things basically become stitched together. So we are established by an Act of Parliament, Urban Regional Planners Act of 2011. Our mandate is to basically ensure that our areas that we are working in are economically viable, aesthetically beautiful, environmentally friendly, and safe. That every place that is a human settlement basically meets the basic standards for a livable place. We have the role also of advising the government of the Republic of Zambia on planning and development issues. So the government comes and consults. If they're not consulting and we see something that is trending, we also get to them and say, this is how our development ought to go. So when you talk about the 8th National Development Plan for the country, we are the people that are behind that consolidation and bringing together different stakeholders together. And when we get to a district level, we are the guys also who are responsible for the integrated development plans, ensuring that there is a spatial development, the towns are growing in a certain direction, and there is basically direction how even economically we are doing as towns and provide for all those provisions. We also have the responsibility to alert the public and sensitize them in terms of what our role is. And such a forum as this one that Bondi Yanga provides us gives us that opportunity to also interact with the public to say, this is what we do, this is who we are, and we are in this space so that we can help you as a people.
All right. Well, excuse the pun. Absolutely intended. Sounds like a lot of planning. Yes, absolutely. So let's talk about your role when it comes to housing development as the Zambia Institute of Planners.
So in the first place, when we have an area that is under development, the first thing that we look at is what is going to be placed where. Where are we going to have housing facilities? Where are we going to have a commercial facilities, social facilities, or social amenities? So in the first place, our responsibility is to make sure that our human settlements have a provision for housing. So that is always at the back of our minds. If we are going to have industries, where are the people going to live? And these people, where they are going to live, what type of housing are they going to have? Based on probably their economic status, because there will be those that have money in society and those that have not money. And so we make sure that the different areas are zoned and people are allocated land based on what we think is workable. So we basically come in from that aspect to make that provision there so that there could be provision of services, of roads, electricity, water, and ensure that those networks, when they actually come into play, are in an orderly way. So we do that. And the people that do that are our members. So as a professional board, you can imagine that we have these planners who are subscribed to us, and then we basically make sure that they as planners maintain a certain code of conduct and certain level of professionalism, because you can imagine that the public requires to be protected. And these professionals, since they fall under our professional body, we are basically responsible for protecting the public interest. That's in the first instance. In the second instance, we are working with organizations such as a Civic Forum on Habitat, Zambia. These we basically signed an MOU in terms of the provision of social housing for the people, and there's a platform that should have been recently launched in terms of how people can build houses but be able to access materials on some kind of arrangement. So we come in to support those initiatives so that Zambians can have affordable housing in the areas that we live in.
Okay, fantastic. So you've explained a lot, including that word that is often thrown around called zoning. So thank you so much for breaking that down. Now, what happens if a person actually builds without consulting a planner? What are the risks?
The first risk that the public would have is definitely legal and financial loss. If you don't build according to the plan which has been professionally looked at, you are likely to put your structures in areas that are not suitable for the type of development that you put them in. This is what leads us to people having a building on water recharge areas, because you didn't know that this is a water recharge area, and because the planner was not involved, so you put your structure there. Then when the government comes or the council comes, then they come and demolish it. So there are legal implications, financial implications. There are structures that have been brought down, that have been built in wrong places, and these have basically been a cost to the people. And this is one thing that you don't want to experience as a citizen, as a resident. You invest your pension, you invest your savings in something that is going to be destroyed. So why not get advice, get planning permission from the local authority, get professional advice, so that the houses that we do or the structures that we build are basically within the confines of the law. One other challenge that we actually experience is an issue of incompatible land uses. Now, land uses is basically what you would use the land for. It's just the use of the land in short, but we always loosely use it around like that. In there, we find that we would designate an area as residential, we would designate an area as commercial, as for social amenities, and for many other things that could be put in that spectrum. Now, the way these things are placed together, there are a lot of considerations that we do as planners. We look at what is the wind direction, for instance, because we can't put a city on the windward side. Because when the fumes for the industry are being blown, you don't want them to be blown into a residential area. You want them to be blown into the bush. So those are things that we think through, and we get down on the ground and say, look, if you're going to put your industries, they have to put this side because of where the wind is blowing. If we are going to put your buildings, they need to be oriented in a certain way, in such a manner that they would be able to maximize the light that gets into the building without necessarily you switching on a light so that you can have a powered house. And this gets you, of course, to save power. And right now, Zambia, I think, is undergoing a lot of energy crisis, which if we did plan well, you basically go into rooms without switching on. So the orientation, even of the sun, we consider that. So even when we are placing the plot, we know that the sun moves from east to west, so the plot must be in a certain direction to maximize that. So all those benefits come along with you using a professional who basically understands that and gives you that advantage. as a citizen.
Now, because it's so technical and multifaceted, surely you work with a number of stakeholders. So how do you work together to ensure that such good practices are actually manifested?
So firstly, we work also in the built environment sector. We have different professionals there. We have the architects. So in the built environment, and maybe this I should be able to explain to our viewers. The built environment is a spectrum made up of different professionals. The first person who basically goes on in the ground is a planner. He thinks through the entire area and says, okay, where are things going to be placed and why they are being placed in that way. And when we're doing that, we'll be considering the social issues, what are the social dynamics, what are the environmental risks. So we look at all those things and say, okay, this is how we're going to place these things. Then at a smaller scale, we get an architect. Now that the plots have been designed, the architect comes in and then builds these nice buildings such as what we see around in our built environment, these nice buildings that are done. So the architect basically does those designs. After the architect has done those designs, then the civil engineer comes in to build. But of course, the civil engineer also come in to do the networks, the power, the roads, and the water and everything that's associated with that. Then the quantity surveyor comes in and says, okay, I need to give you quantities for this building that you have designed. So this is the cost that you're going to basically have. The civil engineer comes and does the building. After the civil engineer does the building, then it's handed over to the real estate guy to basically manage the building for its life. But the planner again continues because now human beings are there and we now ought to manage those human beings. So we come in as planners and say, look, when all these things are happening, it must be done in an integrated manner. So when we are doing this, we want the architect to be there, we want the engineer to be there, so that the decisions that we make the best decisions on the land use that we are basically using as a people. In working together with stakeholders, I did mention a civic forum on housing and habitat Zambia that we basically work with as one of the stakeholders, and a lot of other NGOs such as the People's Process who are basically focused on housing and providing affordable housing to the low-income earners. So we work together with them to basically ensure that that provision is there, and we provide our services as planners to ensure that things are okay with our people, so that everyone has got that provision. We work together with the ministries of local government and the Ministry of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development. The Ministry of Local Government, their major mandate is one of land use planning, right? That's their biggest mandate that they basically have, and they do land use planning both in urban and rural areas. Ministry of Infrastructure also deals with they basically their focus is infrastructure development, and of course there has been who's responsible for what. When the ministries became realigned and people were like, okay, so what are these doing, what are these doing? So there are some certain things which probably they could have been overlapping, but basically we deal with them because they're dealing with urban development. So we basically want to work with both of them and ensure that our cities, our urban areas are functional. Whatever is there, down there, if there's any things that they're overlapping, I think that's for them to sort out. But for us, I think we look at it from an ego's view and say, look, we ought to work together because we are one government and there's one government policy. So we have to basically see where the synergies are, where there's duplication, and see how that can be managed. So we do work with those just to ensure that. We also work with professional bodies, other professional bodies, as I earlier mentioned, and we also work with academic institutions, the Copperbelt University, the University of Zambia. We come together and share our knowledge around to see how best we can develop this country together.
So now you know the team of professionals that you need to involve in making sure that your building project is a success. So we have sat down with all sorts of team members that will build a dream home with you, from quantity surveyors, to architects, to engineers, all those very essential individuals and professionals, and how you can involve them. Also remember, engage professionals, and now we know more on how you can make sure you are dealing with qualified individuals. So make sure you get in touch with us and follow us on all our social media platforms, that is Bondi Yanga, as we achieve your dream for decent housing and building your dream project. See you online and see you on the next episode.
Bondi Yanga, I made sure I was a very window, the learning color, Bondi Yanga.